Welcome back to Kelly's Good Vibrations. I wanted to spend some time talking about narcissists and empaths in relation to each other. This is not normally a subject I discuss on my videos. I do a lot of discussion about this subject in my counseling sessions, but I have been inundated with people for the past week and a half asking me about either narcissism or an empath in relation to one, why they get into these relationships with each other, what is the thing that draws them together. And so the pattern led me to an understanding that it's something that I need to share a little bit more about. I want to say first that narcissism is a personality disorder, and as such, it has to be diagnosed by a professional. There are therapy sessions and tests that a person needs to go through in order to get an official diagnosis as narcissism is a personality disorder. And while many of us have narcissistic traits, a personality disorder is much different than making occasional choices that may fit onto a narcissism spectrum somewhere. The problem is that most people with narcissism don't ever get help because they don't believe that they actually have a problem. The emotional wreckage that they leave behind them is always other people's fault. So all they're concerned with really is continuing to move forward to find their next victim. They don't think anything's wrong because the way they live is very normal for them. It's a very normal way of living. So a narcissist has an urgent need for attention, recognition, validation all the time. They're aware of other people's needs, but only to be able to use those needs to manipulate other people. And they present themselves to us with masks of charm and amiability, flattery, and confidence. But behind that mask lies a fragile ego, a fragile self-esteem that's vulnerable to the slightest criticism. They control and they dominate, and they come from a place of extreme entitlement. They become very angry if they don't receive the special treatment that they think is due to them. The narcissist world is actually a false construct. It's created with delusions and grievances. Most narcissists don't have the ability to see the world outside of their creation, nor do they have the ability to view anything objectively. They can't see other people and things as they are objectively because they view other people from a place of their own deep fear and negative entitlement. They have extreme difficulty loving other people. Their most deeply held conviction, I'm special, makes it very difficult for them to recognize the unique, special qualities of others. And as a result, narcissists often have severe problems sustaining satisfying, mutually supportive relationships. There's a lack of psychological and spiritual awareness and empathy. Their relationships typically consist of lies and emotional manipulations, the constant need to charm and impress people. They don't really feel any goodness within themselves, so any thoughts of grandeur or grandiosity they might have are just part of that false construct. They're preoccupied with emotionally feeding off of others to supply their egotistical needs. They use tactics of manipulation and control in their relationships. I like to refer to them in the terms of emotional vampires. I think sometimes it's easier to understand that because emotional vampires drain us of our energy and leave us feeling emotionally exhausted. They have a parasitic quality in that they provoke emotional reactions in others, and then they feed off the emotions or energy that they just elicited. Empaths and highly sensitive people tend to be targeted by these narcissist emotional vampires due to their strength, the strength of their emotions and their beautiful, vibrant energy. So they're extremely toxic narcissists who deprive us of our energy, our sense of emotional safety, and our ability to engage in self-care. Being around an emotional vampire can cause us to feel depressed, anxious, frightened, confused, and in pain. It affects our productivity, our ability to focus, and our overall mental, physical, and emotional well-being. So they deplete us physically and emotionally. They leave us unable to react constructively because this toxic person's excessive entitlement, lack of empathy, and blatant disregard for our emotions seeps into every interaction that we have with them. So they drain our energy so that we're no longer able to put our full focus on the things that truly matter. Their goal is to distract with their manipulative tactics so that we're no longer serving our highest good. Instead, we're catering to their ego, exclusively serving them and their needs. So emotional vampires feed off of our positive energy, leaving us malnourished. When we're feeling joyful, self-assured, confident, they try to come around and deflate us with put-downs, criticism, or underhanded tactics to sabotage and undermine us. They make us feel like we're becoming toxic too. They make us constantly have to explain basic human decency and fairness and integrity to them over and over and over. They don't give straight answers, and they refuse to honor us as people who deserve consideration and respect. They project their toxic traits onto us. They become overly defensive about their uncalled for behavior. And they're indifferent to the pain that we may be experiencing due to their neglect or abuse. There's no such thing as reciprocity with them. We are here to fulfill their needs while they neglect ours. This is very one-sided, which means whenever you're excessively giving to them, as empaths are likely to do, they're rejoicing in taking from you. Their conversations will usually center them and feature them as the one and only person who's important. They make decisions that affect you without ever considering how you would feel about them taking autonomy away from you. You can't reason with them. It won't work. Instead, use your mental resources for self-care. It's time, meditation, yoga, tai chi, cord cutting, going for a run, reconnecting with nature, seeking the warm and gentle comfort of a validating support network, whether it's online or in person. Reclaiming your power by pursuing your goals, your dreams, friendships independent of this person, of this relationship. Using any and all resources that can help you to detox from the unhealthy person and to move forward. So what's an empath? For these purposes here, I'll say that empaths are individuals who are highly sensitive and are able to feel the emotional needs of others, and often put the emotional needs of others before their own. Their acute sensitivity allows them to truly feel and even absorb other people's pain. They're driven by a need to help and to heal others. So why is there such a strong attraction between some narcissists and empaths? Narcissists choose emotionally damaged empaths. It's the path of least resistance for them to get what they need. Because the empath is hoping to be truly seen and loved by this amazing, charming, unique person. In fact, their sense of worth is tied to being loved by their narcissistic partner. An unconscious thought process begins to take place whereby the empath believes that if they can overcome the challenge of getting this narcissist to love them, then their worth will be validated. But underlying their unconscious desire to seek love from the unloving narcissist is an acting out of a childhood relationship dynamic where they have felt unloved or rejected by a primary caregiver. The empath was unable to receive the unconditional love that every child needs. Now, does every empath get a narcissist to be in a relationship with? No. Does every damaged empath find a narcissist to be in a relationship with? No. But it is exceedingly common for that to be the case. The empath, due to early misattunement and or the emotional unavailability from the primary attachment figure, has learned to associate love with pain. Therefore, they become tolerant of being mistreated by their narcissistic partner. The empath pours all of their energy into the relationship with the narcissist, often tolerating high levels of mistreatment, hoping that they can receive the love they desperately want and need. Boy, oh boy, is the empath barking up the wrong tree. Trying to remake a narcissist into an emotionally available, loving partner is not possible unless the narcissist is in therapy, knows they're a narcissist, and is committed to the relationship and to making it better. The narcissist needs to decide to change. As long as the empath is holding the narcissist's disavowed feelings, the narcissist will not need to feel their own feelings. And without feeling the depth of their own feelings, they cannot change. And if you push them, they will begin looking for another source of energy that they can drain. So an empath has a choice to remain in the abusive dynamic with a narcissist, or to take the responsibility for their contribution in enabling to the dysfunctional relationship, and to instead focus all the attention they placed on fixing the narcissist on healing their own inner wounds. It's imperative that the empath can get their resonance to a level that no longer attracts people who are emotionally unavailable to them. But for those of us who view the world through the eyes of empathy, it's difficult for us to spot these beings who are so unlike us, beings who mask their true inclinations, their true colors, their deep damage. What happens when we encounter those who don't exist in the world the same way we do? People who think first of themselves and have little or no empathy for anyone else. How can we protect ourselves without enabling the pathology of others? Unity and integration of spirit. If you're in a relationship with such a person, or you have been and have not yet healed from it, it's common and really understandable to want to hide your painful reality from others. It's even logical to feel generally unhappy in life and even become an expert at hiding and keeping secrets of your difficulties and the pain that you're experiencing. An abuse survivor can have all the trappings of a good life and still feel that they just don't measure up, that they're just not worthy, that there's something wrong with them. Just being aware of this, that this is something millions of people have experienced, should give some comfort for survivors of narcissistic abuse. And understanding that seeing through your own denial can't be done in one setting or alone even. Remember, psychological abuse doesn't leave bruises or broken bones or holes in the walls. The bruises, the brokenness, and the holes are held tightly within the target of the abuse. Some of the emotional damage caused by being embroiled in a relationship with a narcissist include beliefs that I'm to blame for what happened, I'm powerless, loss and betrayal is doomed to be repeated, so why try? Having a sense of deep shame and alienation from others because of my experiences, which no one can ever find out about. Bad choices from destructive tendencies learned from this toxic relationship, which may include addictive behaviors and other destructive coping mechanisms that we've learned. Attachment and or sexual disorders caused by the fact that the root and sacral chakras are all messed up from attempting to maintain a center during these really damaging relationships. Abandoning yourself to support, please, placate, or rebel against others instead of being firmly on your own side. There are many healing techniques that we can turn to in order to heal from these destructive relationships. I want to talk about one in particular, the light. The anchoring of your light. This is our defense. This is our emancipation from abuse. You cannot hold them accountable. You can't reason with them, and you can't use logic. Remember, as within, so without. The calling to end a narcissistic relationship is an opportunity to rise into your sovereign, authentic self. Rise into your light, letting go of the darkness and anchoring into your light. Your mission here is to expand into your light. It's love. Your empowerment resides in love. You are the light. You have the power flowing through you. You have the light flowing through you. When a vampire is pulled into the light, it shrivels. Narcissists can only gain power in your shadows. They cause those shadows to grow, and they feed in those dark places, in your dark places. They can only gain power in your shadows. As the light connects with you, all of the protective energies in the universe begin to join you in your light. It sounds simple. It sounds like woo. Oh, yes, it is. It's time for you to be mindful of your own good qualities, to begin to believe that you are a good person, a compassionate person, an empathetic person, a conscientious person, a worthy person. Participate in the light. Choose it. Set your intentions for it. It's available to you in endless abundance. In your traumatic experiences, you may have been alone, in extreme pain, isolated. Now you have an opportunity to be released from the blind pursuit of the illusions the narcissist has woven around you. You no longer have to struggle to keep your traumatic experiences a secret or isolate yourself to hide your pain. You can experience belonging by seeing that you are part of a large universe that supports, nurtures, and values you. Participate in the light. Choose it. Set your intentions for it. It's available to you in endless abundance. I wish you love, light, and a beautiful day.